So my first question is that you are almost, in terms of top line, almost in line with your listed peer. Do you plan on beating them in this financial year, and how?
I think the answers for all of these are going to be who takes more care of their consumers, who's innovating on behalf of consumers, and that's exactly what our plan will be. To understand, latent needs, to understand expressed needs, to solve for needs that even consumers didn't know they had. I think all of this is going to be important as we think about just really, really strong growth in the category, and that's what we're gunning for over the next few years.
Thank you, sir.
Hi gentlemen, congratulations again. This is Shilpa here from CNBC TV 18. I wanted to understand currently your food delivery is at a steady state growth, at a comfortable growth level, and quick commerce we're seeing at a very high growth level, right? So over the next maybe 2 to 3 years, what is the kind of GOV growth rate that you're expecting? If you could give us a sense for food delivery also, and what is it that you're expecting for quick commerce as well?
Yeah. So see, I think we mentioned about our food delivery business having turned profitable and at a very good pace of growth. It's still an early stage for India's food delivery industry. If you look at the overall size of the industry, and the online food delivery industry, there is a pretty massive scope for us to continue growing into this larger macro factors that will continue to aid that growth. Talking about the quick commerce segment, we are seeing a pretty robust consumer acceptance to larger categories, larger selection. The platforms that are currently doing a good job on speedy deliveries have to also been able to the consumers are reimagining the category in terms of what they would like to associate or want to purchase from these quick commerce platforms, and we are trying to do our best in terms of giving them more assortment, faster delivery times. So it's an exciting phase of our growth. I think we will continue to give more color in our quarterly earnings call.
But I'm looking at a slight some color, a high double digit, above 10%, above 15%,
Sure.
above something.
I think, okay.
Now that you're listed, I'm sure it's something that you can share with us.
See, our industry report suggests that we are looking at a 60 to 80% category growth over the next 4 years.
This is for?
For the industry, right? So there's this is for the quick commerce business. So we are looking at pretty healthy growth rates, and we will hopefully beat those growth rates.
All right, thank you.
Couple of things. First of all, food delivery business is broadly a oligopoly, and when it comes to quick commerce, we have new players coming in.
Yeah.
Obviously, Blinkit is there, Zepto is there. So how do you really look at market share? Because obviously growth is there, but in the food delivery business, we have seen you lose market share. So when it comes to food delivery business, how do you see your market share? Do you think there are legs to improvement there?
Yeah.
Number one, and number two, for the quick commerce business, the retailing business, how do you see it given the fact that new players are coming up quite aggressively and they also have quite good funding, lined up?
Cool. Thank you. So firstly, as for the first question on food delivery market share, again, we're weeks away from our earning call where we'll talk about the progress we've made, how the business has moved on. So maybe that's a great opportunity to go in more specific. In the second one, the question on quick commerce and competition, look, I think this is one of the largest categories that India Internet will have seen in a long time. So if it is a very large category, then market size leads to market structure. So we think that there will be many players competing, but as we've maintained, I think right now, if you look at the overall category size and where we're at right now, we're 10-15% done. And a lot can unfold in the next 4 or 5 years depending on how players execute, how players understand consumer needs, and that's what we're playing for.
जब आईपीओ के लिस्टिंग के दौरान आपने कहा था एकता फूडी बिजनेस, आपने कहा था कि आपके बहुत ज्यादा क्विक कॉमर्स को एक्सपेंशन के प्लान्स है, डार्क स्टोर्स खोलने के प्लान्स है, तो अगर आप बता सके कि अगले 1-2 सालों में आप कितने डार्क स्टोर्स खोलने वाले हैं, किस तरह आप एक्सपैंड करने वाले हैं, और साथ ही अभी जो फसाई का नजर है क्विक कॉमर्स के ऊपर, उसके ऊपर आप क्या करेंगे?
तो एक तो जैसे हमने ऑलरेडी हमने दिखाया था कि हमारे जून में 557 स्टोर्स थे और वी हैव कंटिन्यू टू इंक्रीज द नंबर ऑफ स्टोर्स, और सिटीज भी हम एक्सपैंड कर रहे हैं. तो इस साल हम जो स्पेसिफिक गाइडेंस है कितने स्टोर्स होंगे, वी विल गिव इन आवर फर्स्ट अर्निंग्स कॉल. With respect to,
if you could just give us a number.
See, as I said, industry is growing at 60 to 80%. तो आपको मानना चाहिए कि इतना तो ग्रोथ मिनिमम होगा ही. Right? Now coming to the FSI question, I think we are compliant. हमने काफी अपने systems और operations को काफी सशक्त किया है ताकि जो हमारे कंट्री के जो रूल्स है, रेगुलेशंस है, हम उनके अंदर काम कर पाए. So basically, it's a advisory. These are rules that we are continuing to follow. We will continue to strengthen those rules.
Good morning, everyone. I am Prateek from PTI. So recently, we are seeing the growth of zero commission-based startups, particularly in the food delivery. So, what is the company's strategy to counter this?
Actually, we're not familiar with these zero commission percentage startups. Is there any specific names that you want to talk about? ONDC is, of course, a different paradigm. If we're talking about ONDC, I think, look, as a company, every category that we operate in is incredibly dynamic. The landscape keeps changing every few months. And our job as a company is to keep making sure that the paradigm that we have is still serving consumers the best, because consumers run the business. So the moment there is an operating model that is possible to serve consumers even better, then we'll be all over it.
Mr. Macheti, the CCI is probing if the company had used exclusivity arrangements, specifically in the food delivery business, and there were any violations in the competition laws. So what is Swiggy's stand on this, and how can you update on the same, and do you see any kind of an impact due to this? My second question will be, going ahead, what are the goals and plans for Instamart?
So maybe on the CCI question, I can take that. So what has come out in the media recently is just that there are certain initial observations with respect to business practices. We are not in receipt of still the detailed findings, and when we will receive them, we will appropriately look at the. So it's a very initial stage of the inquiry, but we are very confident of the business models that we have followed, that they do not contravene any of the existing laws in the country, and we're very confident on that. On coming on Instamart, I think we have talked about the industry growth rate being very, very solid or stellar for the next 3, 4, 5 years. The consumers are continuing to expand their requested selections on the platform. We see a lot of null searches for newer category, and we have continued to expand our overall range of SKUs available on the platform. Even if you look at the last 12 months, we have more than doubled our available number of categories as well as the number of SKUs available on the platform, while reducing our speed of deliveries from close to 17 minutes to 12 minutes on a national average basis. So these are solid inputs that are going into growing the category, and we will therefore continue to invest behind the growth of this category.
अनुराग जोशी स्वदेश से सीसीआई ने एक जांच शुरू की है जिसके तहत वो ये पता लगाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि जो एक्सक्लूसिविटी अरेंजमेंट्स आपके फूड डिलीवरी बिजनेस में है, तो उसमें कहीं कोई उल्लंघन, कोई वायलेशंस हुए हैं, और उस पर कंपनी का क्या स्टैंड है, और इसके चलते कंपनी के ऑपरेशंस पे कोई इम्पैक्ट हो सकता है. दूसरा सवाल मेरा ये है कि इंस्टामार्ट को लेकर आपके क्या गोल्स हैं, क्या उम्मीदें आप आगे बना रहे हैं इस बारे में.
तो सीसीआई के ऊपर जो एक कंप्लेन हुई थी बाय रेस्टोरेंट एसोसिएशन, एंड सीसीआई ने एक प्रिलिमिनरी एक फाइंडिंग और ऑब्जर्वेशंस कुछ पब्लिश किए हैं. वी आर नॉट स्टिल इन रिसीट ऑफ द फाइनल डिटेल्ड ऑब्जर्वेशंस. तो वंस वी रिसीव देम वी आर गोइंग टू एग्जामिन कि क्या क्या उन्होंने उस ऑब्जर्वेशन में कहा है. हमारे अनुसार हमने जो कंट्रीज के लॉस है हम पूरा उनको फॉलो कर रहे हैं. हमारे जो बिजनेस प्रैक्टिसेस है जो हम अपने रेस्टोरेंट पार्टनर्स के साथ रिलेशनशिप रखते हैं, they are in complete compliance with the laws of the country, and at appropriate time we will review them if we have to strengthen or any of that, and we are fully committed to strengthening of those. With respect to the quick commerce business, your question regarding the growth and our growth plans, we have continued to expand our geographical footprint. We have also continued to expand जो हमारा नेटवर्क स्टोर का नेटवर्क है. हमने काफ़ी शहरों में इस साल नए शहर भी हमने ऐड किए हैं. हमने काफ़ी स्टोर्स भी ऐड किए हैं बड़े शहरों में. अभी हमारा आप देखोगे तो डिलीवरी टाइम लास्ट ईयर जो 17 मिनट था अभी कम होके 12 मिनट हो गया है. तो हमने बड़े शहरों में और नए स्टोर्स खोले जा रहे हैं. एक हमारा और स्ट्रैटेजी रहा है कि हम बड़े स्टोर भी खोलें. तो जो एवरेज स्टोर होता है वो 3,500-4,000 स्क्वायर फीट का होता है. एक और जो हम अभी एक्सपेरिमेंट अभी जो कर रहे हैं और रोल आउट कर रहे हैं वो 8 से 10,000 स्क्वायर फीट के स्टोर्स हम ऐड कर रहे हैं, जिससे हम कस्टमर्स को और ज़्यादा सिलेक्शन दे पाए और जल्दी दे पाए.
So, sir, my last question to you. Thank you for having the patience. So, As my good friend just spoke about the CCI observations, and recently FSSAI also had a meeting with a lot of quick commerce and other entities talking about how 10-minute delivery system is in itself complex, and if someone is not able to execute it properly, they should not go for it. And then there is issue about expiration dates and a lot of things that are happening. So. Firstly, I would like to know how do you plan on, addressing these things, and do you fear that this could, give some bad reputation or fear in the minds of the consumers, affecting the market share, because it is something that needs to be protected as well?
Sure. So I think where we have just got is the advisory of the current on the FSSAI matter. It's just the advisory on what are the amount of, say, minimum shelf life that is required to be sold to consumers. As a platform, we are fully compliant. Our IT systems are very robust. That ensures that less than the minimum required shelf life does not go in the hands of the consumers, and we will continue to strengthen them. On the CCI matter, as I had mentioned, that these are preliminary findings. We have still not received the detailed observations. Once we receive them, we are going to examine the specifics in that matter. But at least we believe that we are fully compliant to our business practices and do not have any contravention to the existing laws in the country.